Moya. Om Banza Sada Samaya Manu Balaya Sato Denu Pai Desantetu Sudo Kaya Membawa Sudo Kaya Membawa Anurako Membawa Sarva Sede Me Prayasa Sarva Karma Susane Setan Shriya Guru Sarva Dada Madrama Me Munda Bandemba Masamaya Satwa Badra Satwa Samaya Manupalamya Badra Satwa Dem Dejande Drome Bawa Sudu Kaya Me Bawa Sudu Kaya Me Bawa Anurako Me Bawa Sarvasemi Me Praya Jasa Karma Sutane Shriya Guru Bhagavana Sarvadadan Bandra Mame Munda Bhajimba Mai Samaya Satu Om Bandra Sadwa Samaya Manu Bhagavana Sadwa Devu Dejra Dejo Meba Rupo Kayo Mebawa Rupo Kayo Mebawa Anurada Mebraya Sarva Karma Sudaya Sarva Karma Sudaya Vedana Shriya Guru Bhakti Sarva Dada Vajra Mame Mura Vanjenda Masamaya Sadhu. Okay. So this morning, what I was trying to share is we should get good foundation for our Dharma study practice. Sometimes we are so excited, as I mentioned, to receive Mahamudra instructions, like Dzogchen instructions. So say, oh, they are so good, they are no, and without much foundation. And well, so we are told they are so quick path. They are such very effective. Of course, we want those, but to make that effective, we have to make the good foundation. You see, it's not there something outside, can help us to achieve that kind of our expectation. We have to prepare within the mind. Look at the first weakness of our mind and how fragile the mind is, and how much we're clinging to the samsaric activities. So these things need to be sought out. When we found these things, then there's nothing to hang on around in the samsara. Full preparation. Like we have teachings like arahanta. To achieve arhat, first we have to convince about this five skandhas suffering. As long as you have these 5 skandha, then you cannot expect total peace and happiness. And you are fully convinced about that. So you're desperate to achieve the arhat. Here, all above that, not just myself, but everyone is going through this. Because we need such sense of metta, loving kindness, karuna, compassion, these things. You see, our survival depends on others. Like we're having a cup of tea, we're eating cookies, these things all depends on others. First of all, the farmer produced, they work hard in the farm, plant all the trees, the plant, the harvesting, the rice, the wheat, all this. They work hard, and then produce. Then between the agent, they make the contract, bring which farmer has produced, brought to the store, supermarket. And the supermarket people, they work, sorting out all this. And they're just prepared. And then we go there, buy. And then we get chance to eat. So it depends on many people. So our life is totally depends on others. Their hard work. They have a very high expectation to make their life better, to survive. And we're enjoying their products. So how much work they work on for their life, happiness, peace. So yes, we have to understand that. So this called loving kindness. Loving kindness, loving is not just out of attachment. I love you means out of attachment. It's not that. It's concerning of their peace and happiness. Wishing they have all the peace and happiness, especially the causes of peace and happiness. We meditate on this. Like a mother who cares the child. Like last night, I mentioned the story. How much she cares her child. She doesn't have much expectation for how much he can give when he was young or she was young. But she has expectation how the child should be happy. She gives her whole life to make the child happy. Day and night, take care physically, mentally. Let child grow. So everyone, not only human beings, if we look at the birds, how they hatch the eggs. The bird, the mother sacrifices her life to keep the egg alive. There's some predators comes, like snake or some big eagles to come in to protect the egg. How much she sacrifices. Look at this. Even animals, small insects. Look at the fish. Fish, her eggs are now coming to small fish, setting in the ocean water. When there comes predator, all those small fish coming in her mouth and protects. See? Look at all those things. So Buddha was very sensitive about all these things. Seeing this all. And then look to yourself. How much we cherish ourselves. We sacrifice a lot of things to protect ourselves. Our body, our peace, our happiness. Look at this. And everyone has that. Whether believer or non-believer, whether rich or poor, whether educated or uneducated, there's no discrimination. All those discriminations are just boundary. So look at this, this practice of loving kindness, compassion. We say these prayers. Oh yes, you know, we say prayer. We're not saying only prayers. May all the Buddhists have the Buddhists have peace and happiness. We say, may all the Mother Sentient Beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and causes of peace. May they free from suffering and causes of suffering. It transcends all boundary. And this you see. Even those individuals who hate me, they also want peace and happiness. So that boundary also need to go. Those who hate me, they also want peace and happiness. So I say prayers for them. Instead, they may get all the bad things. We say, may they be free from suffering. May they have all the peace and happiness. You see. What that does is brings real peace in our own. When you release the aversion, hatred from your heart, and that is the genuine love and compassion. And then we have the total peace and happiness, you see. That's the Buddha's wisdom. He totally understood that. And then genuinely taught that all the Dharma practitioners who have to practice this. So that's the horse, the steed of love and compassion. And that, doesn't matter where you are, in the office, in your home, at your home, or here, driving, anywhere, when you have to reflect on that, and you feel so peaceful. And happiness is the flavor of the peace. When you have a peace, there's happiness. When your mind is peaceful, physically you feel happy, relaxed. So this is nothing to do with religion, culture, all the differences. It transcends all these things. It brings all into one reality and nature. This, you see. And that's the meaning of the life, the purpose of the life. Because we all want peace and happiness. And this is how to bring up in the mind. See? When you breathe in, all the peace and happiness of the sentient beings. Breathe out, peace and happiness to all sentient beings. Meditate on this. Reflect on this. And it's just practically we get the benefit, that moment. Sometimes we are asked to chant mantra, millions of mantras. But I don't know how much we can get. But through this practice, definitely we get the benefit at that moment. And to practice loving kindness, compassion, we need sentient beings. You cannot practice loving kindness, compassion to this table. I cannot say, oh, I have such a compassion on this table. The table is suffering. You see. The sentient beings are indispensable as an object. We to practice loving kindness and compassion. So we are very grateful. Especially those people who hate you, create obstacle to you, and practice the loving kindness, compassion. And your loving kindness, compassion becomes unconditional love and compassion. More powerful. Make your mind stronger. Courage, no fear. So you see, without which, not possible to practice such powerful loving kindness and compassion. So we just know this. We should feel grateful. Because of the sentient beings, now I can practice love and compassion. Because of the sentient beings, I can practice bodhicitta. So we need this, especially in this 21st century. When there's a lot of wars, fighting, they're killing each other, hating this and this. We need to get rid of that enemy, this enemy, you know. During this time, we need this kind of practice. So, regarding to this, there's one story at the time of Buddha. So there was a man in the country, robber, he's robbing. He stays his territory. And any people go through that place, he just grabs that person, and whatever possession that person has, he takes. And then if that person is doesn't agree, he kills, because he's very strong. He has a sharp knife. That time there was no gun, but he has a sharp knife. And physically so fit, so young. Also, so not many people can go through that. They heard the story. So then, one time, Buddha went through that. And then he stopped Buddha. He didn't know he was Buddha. It's just, then he introduced himself. I'm this area. I do these things. Now today is your turn. Whatever possessions you have, I take. And Buddha said, I have this begging bowl. That is. Then he said, I will kill you. So Buddha just thought about it. So how I can help this person? It's like a ruthless. Then Buddha said, you see, okay, you can kill me, but before you kill me, I have 2 questions to ask you. He said, okay, what's your question? So there's a tree, there's trees. So can you bring down all the leaves of the tree? And since he is young, he has a sharp knife. He cut all the branches, brought on the ground. And Buddha said, yes, I see. You are strong, physically, very impressive. And he acknowledged, yes, I have this. Now what's your next question? And Buddha said, now can you put back all the leaves? Then he was a little confused with such a feeling of pride. He brought down, but now he doesn't have the skill, ability to put back, It was a little embarrassing, for him. So then said, why are you asking these questions, Who can put back this, And Buddha said, I thought you can put back because you brought down, back. So then he forgot to kill Buddha, He was a little confused, embarrassed, confused, I don't know how to give the answer and all this, And Buddha said, you see, you have such great skill, ability to bring down all the leaves of the tree, but you don't have any ability to put back. This is just an example. Buddha said, as you told me, you see, how many people that you have robbed, killed, but you have all those skills, but you don't have skill to help others. Do you remember? Buddha said, when you robbed, killed, those people are screaming, begging, please don't kill me. Do you remember these things? And how desperate those people are. How much suffering going through those individuals. Then he just reflected, yes, I remember. Then Buddha said, suppose a person, a man comes here stronger than you are and intimidates you, threatens you to rob your things, belongings, to kill you. What your feeling will be. So then he reflected on this. Yeah. Then he was really contemplating. Then he got the remorse. He said, oh, I made a lot of mistakes. I brought a lot of suffering to people. So you see, but they have that kind of skill. Wisdom, compassion. Otherwise, would the king fly in the sky, at that time, fly in the sky, to say, no, go ahead, you kill me, But we cannot take that example. We cannot fly, But how we would handle that, we can practice that, you see. There's not so much mystical things in the Buddha's life. No. In the human realm, skillfully help people, giving the four nobles of Dharma teachings. So suffering, you know how much suffering the people went through, how much you have created those suffering. Now you will also experience this suffering to yourself. So that man was totally then understood. And he was, as mentioned, he was very remorse. And I made such a great mistake. And Buddha said, yes, you made those mistakes, but you can also do good things for others. You can help many people. So then he said, I want to follow you. Learn how to do things, good things, to help others. So then he followed Buddha and studied, practiced this practice of loving kindness, compassion, how to avoid the 10 non-virtues, and how to practice the 10 virtues. These are universal things. This house called practice of loving kindness, compassion. First, in our mind, we practice this as much as we can. It will really help our mind to bring peace. That helps our body as well. Physically, you feel much relaxed. Purify the mind this way. See? Now, how to run the horse, how to gallop the horse on the race, the bodhicitta, on the base of this loving kindness, compassion. So now, if you ask, say, when one will get perfect peace and happiness, we say, may all Mother Session being found in the sky have happiness and causes of happiness, What is the happiness? Peace, enlightenment. When you achieve enlightenment, that time, that individual will achieve the total happiness. What's the cause to achieve that enlightenment? So, bodhicitta, cultivate that bodhicitta. I have desires, I want to attain Buddhahood. That cultivate that mind. Okay. Then on the basis on that, may they all free from suffering and causes of suffering, the aspects of compassion. How one will free from all the suffering? Right now, no matter how much you say prayers, no one will, as long as we're the samsara, no one will have total free from suffering. So now enlightenment. When you achieved enlightenment, then one will free from all the suffering. What's the cause to achieve that state, free from suffering and causes of suffering? All the mental afflictions that need to be non-existent. Uproot all these mental afflictions. Our ignorance, aversion, attachment. See, that's the action. It's called action bodhicitta. We desire to attain Buddhahood, enlightenment, but what to take action? So these need to be taken care. Purify. See, look at our own mind. So these kleshas, mental afflictions, they are called poison. It's got 3 poisons, you know. They are the real enemy of us, sentient beings. Who makes you enemy? Because of these mental afflictions. Like Jesus is free from these mental afflictions. You don't call Jesus is my enemy, because Jesus doesn't have this mental affliction. Buddha doesn't have these mental afflictions, so you don't call Buddha is my enemy. So our real enemy is this mental affliction. They are with us 24 hours. So these need to be taken care of. And in the four stanzas of the Ayadeva, in that mentioned, like a psychologist, neurology, so who works with the mind, those who are special, those the psychologically problems, especially possessed by evil spirits. Sometimes such individuals are possessed by the evil spirits. And whatever you see, that person is angry, upset. So especially those psychiatrists, good psychiatrists, those when they come, and then those individuals who are sick, and the patient will be very angry, upset, the individual who comes, and those doctors, they see that individual is possessed by the evil spirits. Will try how to get rid of that problem. Will not see that person is a bad person. He's acting so badly because that evil spirit is possessed. So likewise, it's Buddha, all the sentient beings, the enemy is mental affliction, afflictive emotions, not the sentient being. Buddha has great compassion to the sentient beings who are suffering from. So these will stay with us for 24 hours. No, we suffer. It's very clear. Everywhere you see. This is regardless who they are, believer, non-believer, whatever religion you believe. As long as we have these afflictive emotions, we're all equally suffering, no? See? That's what it's means. Buddha's wisdom taught this. So yesterday I mentioned, there's two ways to achieve our happiness. From the material side, how to fulfill all our sensual desire, to make happy. Very difficult, you see. We try everything, like, the musicians, look at all this, the musicians, singers, dancers, clubs, there's so many people coming there and they dance and they sing and it makes them happy. Then after some time they fight each other, Then the platform is broken, We're so excited, and there's a lot of suffering. Another way is how to purify these inner enemies. So to purify the inner enemy is not easy. We need this kind of great skill, wisdom. How to do this step by step with so much. When you read the Bodhisattva Avatar by Shantideva, in this 10th chapter, you see how much is explained step by step, each chapter, because it's so complex. Look at the jewel ornament of liberation. There's 21 chapters. How skillfully explained. So those enlightened beings, they describe us, they taught us, teach us how to explain, how to practice, So we should be very grateful to these. Buddha taught so many volumes of the teaching, sutras, we don't have time to read all of those things. But those great teachers like Kabupa, putting like jewel ornament, they all complete teaching into one book. That was not so big. And then just list. These are the things that you need to know. This way, how to put into practice. So, compassionate, full of wisdom. So then, we all have to make effort now, from today, how to purify the mind. That's the kind of action. We put the action. We aspire to attain enlightenment. We aspire to have peace and happiness everywhere. But that much is not enough. First, we need a purpose. Once we aspire, now how to put into practice, action. It's called the action bodhicitta. So starting from, starting from like 6 parameters, generosity, easy way. Anybody can practice generosity. There's generosity practice of giving things, giving things, giving fearlessness, giving skills, wisdom. It involves, it has also complete teaching there. But giving things what they need, physically, what they need, with a pure motivation. So through this giving things is such a practice of joyful. You give things joyfully. Like when you come to the Dharma Center, you do those things, you feel happy. Today I'm doing something good. Dharma Center is a place that people coming there. So I should fix this, I should help these things. It's just a joyful practice. If you give smile, it's free, it costs nothing. You see, when you smile, it costs nothing, but it's joyful practice. When you go around with the sad face, frowny face like this, people are afraid of you, They're trying to run away, But if you smile, so then people feel very close. It's the kind of, like the dog, cat, maybe cannot smile, The dog, when the dog is happy, they'll wag the tail, But we can smile. It's the precious human life can do. So people, when they're walking the street, hello, good morning, so you said this, people they're also walking, jogging with a sad face, they also change their face, So these all small things you can do, a lot of things. Giving your entire body from the very small thing to just there's a range of different ways of doing practice this, you see. You have heard of this great Buddhas, those who are giving the body to those who they need. And who gives very small things. It's all I appreciate it. You give with your pure motivation. So here where we do is to free from something, to achieve enlightenment. This motivation is very important. Sometimes we do this to become famous. I give this so that I'll be very famous. I give you such amount of money so that I may become famous. Or say, I give this, maybe I become rich. So those are impure motivation. You give, wonderful, but motivation is very important. I give this by this power. May everybody free from suffering. May everybody achieve enlightenment. You give this way, then you have no expectation. And real gift, precious. So those things you see, do. And then mention giving fearlessness. Those whose life is danger, like a dog is drawn in the water, a cat or individual, you protect from that water, river, who are very sick and need some kind of medicine, you give special medicine to help. So giving fearlessness, who their life is fear. So that also say giving fearlessness, giving wealth, of this. And then you give skill, wisdom, Dharma teachings, You can do this, you can do this, practice this way. So there's a whole range of practices there. But lay people can practice those. Anybody can practice those. Giving is such a joyous part, matter, practicing on. Then come perfection of the morality. You keep the 5 precepts. Sometimes people say, "Oh, what should I do to be reborn as a human being next life? Is there any special prayer to be said?" So keep the 5 precepts. Keep the 5 precepts. That will definitely, one will reborn next life as a human being in the God realm. So then there are more precepts. But 5 precepts are not as a Buddhist. Anybody can keep. It's not taking life. Nobody would appreciate taking life. Believer, non-believer, not stealing, not telling lie, not engage in the sexual misconduct. Nobody appreciates going around, all this sexual misconduct. It brings a lot of suffering, envy, jealous, resentment. You see, it's not just a religious training, it's in the society. Then drinking alcohol. We enjoy drinking alcohol, isn't it? And sometimes you say, what about just only one cup of drink, or only one glass of drink? It's okay, I enjoy that after dinner. What it does is it intoxicates your mind. Once you intoxicate it, then you have no sense of right or wrong. Drugs to empty, It ruins life. It ruins the society. That's why in every country, the norm, the disadvantage of these things, and that try to prevent it. In some countries, they kill, to persecute individuals who are dealing with that, You have heard of this a few months ago in Singapore, some individuals persecuted because it ruins the society, individual's life. So it's not just a Buddhist thing. So those who keep the 5 precepts, that person becomes so trustworthy. People respect that person. Doesn't matter what that person practices, believes religion. Christian, he or she may be Christian or Muslim or Hindu or even not believing any. Just you said that person is a real good person. We can trust that person, respect that person. It's a universal reality. It's good for our own peace. When you keep these 5 precepts, your life will be so peaceful. All the precepts are built above on these 5 precepts, there's a monk, just so many precepts just built above these 5 precepts. Bodhisattva's practice built above on these 5 precepts. In Vinaya, they said, don't do this. Said, don't take life, don't steal, don't tell lie, don't sexual misconduct, don't do these things, Now in the Bodhisattvas, you do, you give, you see, you help others. First, we abstain from all these non-virtuous deeds, physically, mentally. Train that, practice that. On the basis of that, then you do things good for others, service for others. Yes. But there's the morality of abstaining from non-virtuous action. Then morality of the study, practice of Dharma, the morality of the benefiting sentient beings. There are so much there. And next comes the patience. Patience is forbearance. I think forbearance, is good. You bear the consequences, not disturb your mind. Basically, the anger, aversion, those manifest out of fear. So if there's no fear, there's no reason to manifest anger. So Venerable said, when your mind is free from the fear, that's called patience, forbearance. So we bear these difficulties when we practice Dharma. So like get up in the morning, practice the Dharma teachings, stay in late in the evening, practice Dharma. Sometimes we cannot bear that. So bearing this and follow the practice. When you face difficulties, individuals, that time we bear those difficult individuals, practice patience. Well, sometimes Dharma teachings so much, it overwhelms you. Because our mind is, as mentioned, so complex to comprehend the complexity of the mind, the Dharmas are taught. It's not Buddha made it so complex, because our mind is so complex to realize that there are some complex, the teachings, there are profound teachings there. Because our mind is totally free from liberation. Because our mind is at the end totally like a space, emptiness. So therefore Buddha taught the emptiness. So these things we need to understand to follow the Dharma. And then perseverance, effort. Sometimes we do some like week-long retreat. So, I did this last week, I went to retreat, No, this is enough. It's not enough. We have to practice until you become Buddha. So, non-satisfaction effort, but joyfully, feeling of grateful. Dharma is so precious. We should understand Dharma is the source of the wisdom. Dharma is the source of peace. Dharma is the source of courage. With bodhicitta, especially. And then the fifth is called samadhi. meditative concentration. We need to bring our mind right place. Meditating, mindfulness, basically it's mindfulness. Mindful yourself. Make your mind calm, peaceful. How many of you have been to teachings of the Gyaltshen or Mahamudra in the past? You went Mahamudra. How much you have realized? Huh? Now, yes. Now you have realized Mahamudra. How much? Right now it's happening. Yeah. So you are in the presence of the Mahamudra. So anyhow, you see, to stabilize the Mahamudra realization, you have to have the shamatha. Okay, samadhi. Without the stabilization of this samadhi, shamatha, very difficult. It's very fragile. You get glimpse, but doesn't stay. As I mentioned, this the great master in Drikung, the Tashratan, his samadhi is unshakable, like a rock. Because he has such that kind of thing. He has that kind of Mahamudra realization. So you said to Dhammakaya, to have that, you need the shamatha, samadhi. Then on that samadhi, you get the Mahamudra instruction. And then you are fully stabilized. So to do this, that as earlier I mentioned, reflect on the impermanence, reflect on the suffering of samsara, reflecting on the disadvantage of the mental afflictions, the poisons, mental poisons are very important to see those. Then your practice becomes very stable, unshakable. See, makes sense? So this all you have to make that kind of condition yourself prepared. So these the 6 perfections called perfection. They will do through this practice will help us to achieve the perfection of the bodhicitta. It's called action bodhicitta. Okay. First, we need aspiration bodhicitta to attain the Buddhahood. So this goals, I want to attain Buddhahood. Now, how to attain Buddhahood? And follow this action bodhicitta step by step. So it is, all the sutra system of the Buddha's teachings are contained in this section. So it's grabbing the horse, the steed towards the enlightenment. Okay. The 5, you see, the 5 paths. Have you heard of 5 paths? the path of accumulation, the path of the preparation, the special insight path, the path of meditation, and the path of perfection. So this is the path you take, step by step. At the path of accumulation, you start now accumulating merit, wisdom towards the enlightenment. Just as I mentioned, you see the samsara, a state of suffering, confusion. No one in the samsara had the complete peace and happiness. They try everything, so you see how. No. So then you take refuge in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Take refuge is not just to become Buddhist, but it's a cause. It's a cause that we need to free from samsara. So taking refuge is to enlighten beings. When the first mission, the teacher. When you say, many of you here know, when you say food offering prayers, do you say in Tibetan? How you say this? Oh, how you say this in Tibetan? You know, David, you don't know? You don't say those prayers? Do you say that? I'm sure every time when you eat lunch at the center, you say this prayer before you eat the meal. Domba means teacher. Okay. Lame means unsurpassed. Domba Lame. Who's that? Sangye Rinpoche, the precious Buddha. The precious Buddha is the unsurpassed teacher. Just as I mentioned, like the very skillful doctor, physician. So Buddha turned the wheel of the Dharma, the Four Noble Truths, teaching all the emptiness nature, teaching all the Buddha nature that everybody has. Taught all those teachings, nothing is missing. So Buddha is unsurpassed teacher. Okay. Now who can protect us from the suffering? Dharma. That's why Gyopa. Gyop means protector. Unsurpassed protector. Which is that? Damju Rinpoche, the noble Dharma teachings. The precious, noble Dharma teaching. And these are, like the explanation, medicine. The really wonderful physician, he or she diagnose your problem very precisely and then prescribe the medicine. You see, take the medicine, they say in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, you take this medicine. Then you should behave this. Don't eat these things, even though you may enjoy so much. But when the doctor prescribes, tell about these things, you don't reject, isn't it? Doctor told me I don't eat this, I don't drink this. I like them so much now, I will miss them, you know. The doctor prescribed you to free from the sickness. Wisdom. So Buddha prescribed this. the Dharma teachings. Real protectors, your Dharma practice, like taking the medicine. So you enjoy maybe any one of the 10 non-virtues or 10 non-virtues, Buddha said, I proscribe. Proscribe, what's that mean? What that mean? Proscribed? Who can tell me? Huh? You don't know? Huh? No, proscribed, not prescribed. First is prescribed. Now, second is proscribed. What that mean? Huh? Yeah, you look at your dictionary. Yeah, proscribed. P-R-O. Pros. P-R-O-S-C-R-I-P or something.
Oh, it's forbidden.
Huh?
It's forbidden by law.
Yeah, see, forbidden. Buddha proscribed 10 non-virtues. Prescribed 10 virtues. Okay. Okay. You get it? Even you don't like to give up, but if you want to free from suffering, no choice. Sometimes they say, it takes my freedom, Sometimes we need to sacrifice. So see, Buddha was such a great enlightened being who knows exactly all the steps, and with such great compassion, from that wisdom, and give the Dharma teachings precisely to reveal our nature. So enlightenment is within us, not outside from somewhere to achieve. So we don't say prayers to be born in such place for enlightenment, but we practice Dharma teaching here to achieve enlightenment within us. See, when your mind is totally confused, depressed, all such, chaos state of the mind is hell. There's no hell somewhere else, but within that state is hell. But then when you get these Dharma teachings, how to free from these mental afflictions and practice this prescribed 10 non-virtues, loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, bring into your mind, is heaven, is Godland, is pure land. This is your mind. So in our daily life, we go through these 6 realms. Sometimes we feel so good weather, good food, good companions, so joyful. It's like God. Sometimes it goes everything wrong. That goes wrong, this goes wrong, then everything is like in the hell. Sometimes you feel you have nothing, you feel so stingy. It's Hungry Ghost. Sometimes you feel so stupid. You are meditating there. So why I'm meditating? This does not belong to me, it doesn't make sense. What I get from this, you feel so stupid animal, you know. I may be traumatized, somebody else, you know. So you see, in our life, we have that kind of experience, you know. 6 realms is not somewhere else within us. This is called the complexity of the mind. So that is how to handle this through these teachings, meditation, practices. That's why Dharma can only work the Dharma to handle these things. Not something like a painkiller site. Okay. You see, time flies. So this first has so much things to discuss. Then emptiness there, no? Also there's as I mentioned, the 6th paramita, wisdom section, this emptiness. As many of you know, Heart Sutra, the home is emptiness, emptiness of home. Now these are, nowadays is not so much cigarette. Otherwise, there's a Buddhist belief, everything's emptiness, everything's illusion. But now, through the quantum physics theory, everybody understood emptiness. Partial, not complete, partial emptiness. When you intellectually investigate these things, you find this table is non-existent. It's emptiness. But this just intellectual emptiness. Through the experiential, when you realize this table is empty, then there's great joy in the mind. Not substantially, you have such a fearlessness, joy. When there's no fear, there's the great joy. Everything is nothing but nature of emptiness. Nothing to fear. Fearlessness, not out of arrogance, but out of wisdom. Through the experience, you see, yes, this I see. That's why Lakshana, Venerable, who realized emptiness, he can go into the home, yak home. Yak home is like buffalo home. He can go into the yak home without being yak home bigger, without being himself smaller, but totally fit in the home because he realized total emptiness. It is something, unimaginable. How you can do this? But if you read the 7-lamp prayer, the 7-branch prayer, not 7-lamp, I think 7-branch sutra system of the prayer, in there mentioned, in the smallest dust particle contains the countless universe. Without being the dust particle bigger and without being smaller, the whole universe can fit perfectly. It's because of the emptiness. Emptiness has all the space. It's beyond our imagination, Like Venerable, when he went to Mount this lake Mansarawa, the born priests there, that they are competing their meditation. So Venerable sat on that lake, Mansarawa. It's a big lake. You go around, take one whole day to go around. Venerable sat on the mountain, on that lake, without lake being smaller, without being him bigger. He totally fit, covered the lake. It's, it's beyond our imagination because of the emptiness. Realize the emptiness. So emptiness is a spacious nature, infinite space. That's the kind of realization of the emptiness through the experience, not through the intellectual. So that's why we are inspired, encouraged to practice meditation. Any questions? With this afternoon, we touch on the next 4 topics. Yes.
There's some translations about meaning
Mm-hmm.
and to deepen the 5 states of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
And that is to say, awesome. Ha 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 ho. That's one. Ha 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 ho. It's 5 stages. This explains 5 stages, 5 joy, and 5 wisdoms. All this, yes, you can explain there.
Okay.
Yeah. So step by step, anyway.
So
Okay.
related.
Yeah. When you experience it. Yes.
I have a question about the hell realms.
Yes.
From your explanation, it sounds like the hell realms are not somewhere else to be reborn into. They're a state of mind that
yes.
you are born into constantly.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes. Sometimes those uneducated people, when you talk with the mind, doesn't make sense for them. Then sometimes we feel like heaven is something somewhere in the below, below somewhere there, we get that kind of impression. So for those people, it helps. So I don't want to go to heaven. In reality, it's the mind. No one is kind of designated heron. This called heron designated. It's your mind when you're like people who are suicidal. They're so depressed, and they feel there's no in and out, no kind of space left. Suffering so much. It's like hell, tortured. Like the relentless kind of torturing. It's hell. Yes.
Rinpoche, can you suggest the books that you were talking about that has like stats to practice the Dharma and everything? The wisdom, like 10 virtues, 10 non-virtues.
Yeah, that As I mentioned, Jewel Ornament of Liberation is a good book to read. It's written by enlightened master, Gambupa, in the 11th century. It's so good book.
What is it called again?
Jewel Ornament of Liberation. JOL. Yeah. And then there's one book that I explained, the Four Dharmas of Gambupa. It's not my composition. It's taught by great masters, so I explain according to their explanation. So there's the Four Dharmas of Gambupa. That's also a good book. I don't know how available that book is. Last year, there's quite some number of copies are printed and distributed. Yeah, first you try to find the Jewel Ornament of Liberation. And then there's one just general, if you want to practice refuge, there's Vajrasattva, those. And Mandala, Guru Yoga, Bodhicitta, Loving Kindness, Compassion. There's one book that I put together. It's called Diamond Rosary. Okay. Now we reflect, ourselves. Just refresh your mind what we went this morning regarding the first verse, loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. Connection with this, impermanence, and suffering nature, causality, and the meaning of loving kindness, compassion, and the bodhicitta of aspiration, action. To follow the practice, 6 perfections. And you appreciate these teachings, instruction, meditate. So I will study, practice these teachings, and especially reflect our mental afflictions, the mental confusions, the mental poisons that we have. We're not making them bad, but they are the direct cause of our suffering, individually, in the society. Now, since I'm interested in these teachings, my main responsibility is to purify them. And I'm so happy I understood this. I'm so grateful. Now I will follow. And what Kayarda? They will say some dedication prayers. Yeah, here, this, you see page 2nd. Remember dedication prayers? So we said this in English. All the Buddhas of the 3 times ascended prayers to the beginning of the noble prayers, dedication. To dedicate all the rules of virtue for accomplishing their noble deeds. By the blessings of the Buddhas who have came to our by the blessings of the truth of the Khenchen by the blessings of the division of our Thank you. We make a break for lunch.
Like before he's going to leave, so he would like to offer.
Kure. Kure. Come, Tonya. Okay, thank you. Yes. Yes, you have Lama. Yeah. Okay, study with him.
Thank you so much.
Okay. 이게 가면 정을 와. 이제 안다. 같이.